Most of us know of 7 wonders of the modern world, but most of us are not aware that there's an 8th wonder that exists in and around us, only if we take notice. Before we disclose that 8th wonder to you, here is a short story about a king and the inventor of the chessboard. The game of chess, as you know, was invented in India. The legend goes that the inventor of the game was summoned by the king for a reward. Very humbly, he requested the king for rice grains. He asked for just 1 grain of rice to be put on the first block of the chessboard and then doubled the number of grains for every subsequent block. That meant putting 1 grain of rice on the first block of the chessboard, 2 grains on the second board, 4 grains on the third board, 8 grains on the fourth block, 16 grains on the fifth block, and so on. The king was surprised at such a small request and asked the chess inventor, "That's all you want?" The inventor said, "Yes, my lord. I just want the number of grains of rice that you would put on the 64th block of the chessboard." The king assumed that the number of grains of rice the inventor had asked for was very small, and so he readily agreed. However, when his ministers sat down to calculate the total number of rice grains required, they realized that they had been outwitted. How? Just try and calculate the number of rice grains on the 64th block of the chessboard and do it on an Excel sheet. You will be amazed at the answer. The number of grains will cover the entire land of India, half foot deep. Amazing, isn't it? But what are rice grains and chessboard to do with the 8th wonder of the world? A lot, we must say. When you apply the concept that the chess inventor used to outwit the king, it's called the power of compounding. And power of compounding is something which the famous scientist Albert Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world. Now, what exactly is compounding when it comes to money and investing? Let's understand this by an example. In school, you must have learned the simple concepts of simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest and compound interest. When you earn simple interest on your savings, you earn a fixed amount of interest on the money you invest. Let's understand this using this table has 3 columns. The first is the year, the second is the start money, the money that you are starting with at the start of every year, and third is the amount of interest that you're earning, assuming the rate of interest is 10% per year. Now, the start of year 1, assuming you invest 100 rupees using simple interest, in this year at 10% interest, your interest income will be 10 rupees. In the second year, since we are calculating returns on simple interest, your start money will again be 100 rupees and you'll be earning again a 10 rupee interest, which is 10% of your capital. In third year, we repeat the same thing, 100 rupees, and you earn another 10%, which is 10 rupees. Fourth year, 100 rupees, and again 10 rupees. Fifth year, again 100 rupees, and 10 rupees. So at the end of year 5, the total amount of money that you'll have will be the 50 rupees of interest that you've earned plus your original capital of 100 rupees, which means the total amount of money you'll have will be around 150 rupees. Now, when you look at compound interest, the interest is calculated in the following way. At the start of year 1, if you invest 100 rupees as your startup money, the interest that you'll earn in that 100 rupees will be 10 rupees, which is the same that you earned using simple interest. But what happens in the year 2? In the year 2, your startup money will not be 100 rupees, but it will be 110 rupees, which is the sum of 100 plus 10 rupees of interest which you've earned in the first year. So your startup money will be 110 rupees. On that, if you are earning the same interest of 10% per annum, you will be earning an interest of 11 rupees. In the third year, it will be 121 rupees and you'll be earning an interest of around 12 rupees. In the fourth year, it will be 133 rupees and you'll be earning an interest of around 13 rupees. In the fifth year, it will be around 146 rupees and you'll be earning an interest of around 15 rupees. So at the end of year 5, like you earned 150 rupees total using simple interest, your income, your total wealth at the end of 5th year using compound interest will be around 161 rupees. 161 rupees. Now you might wonder, but there's no major difference between 161 and 150 rupees. How is compound interest or compounding such a wonder? Well, see the magic that happens not in 5 years, but in 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. In 20 years, if you were to continue your money, growing your money using simple interest, in 20 years, that money, that 100 rupees, will become 300 rupees using the interest that you're earning plus the startup money will go to 300 rupees using simple interest, and using compound interest, it'll grow to, in 20 years, it'll grow to around 673 rupees. And when it comes to 25 years, in 25 years, your wealth would increase to 350 rupees using simple interest, and using compound interest, it'll grow to a huge 1083 rupees. Now the difference between 350 and 1083 rupees in 25 years is a huge 210%. This is the power of compounding. What it simply shows is that if you let your money compound for a long term, you will end up with a lot of money in your. Now, if you're an investor in mutual funds, for instance, here are some simple calculations for you that showcase the power of compounding over the long term. So let's understand using this chart. If you invest rupees 1500 per month via SIP and you continue to invest for 25 years, and assuming your SIP earns you around 12% return per year, the amount of wealth that you'll end up at the end of 25 years will be around 28 lakh rupees. So the amount of money that you'll have at the end of 25 years will be around 28 lakh rupees. This is huge. But if your money can earn 15%, so this is at 12%, if your money can earn 15% return over these 25 years, the same 1500 rupees investment per month over 25 years will rise to a huge rupees 48 lakh. Now how big is this? Just a small 3% incremental return for you over a 25-year period, but a regular amount of investment that you're making year after year after year will amount to a lot of money over a long period of time frame. This is the real power of compounding over a long period of time frame, that you regularly keep on investing small amounts of money month after month after month, but for a long term, and you'll end up with a lot of wealth to meet your financial goals in 20 years or 25 years. So finally, what are the key lessons that you learned from the power of compounding discussion that we had today? There are 2 lessons that you must not forget. The first lesson is that time and money are great friends of yours. So you have time, which is like a 20-25 year period, and money, which is the regular amount of savings that you're doing, the regular amount of investments that you are doing month after month after month for 20-25 years. These two, if you let them work together, can create huge wonders for you. As we saw in this chart above, the amount of money that you generate from regular investments over a long period of time can be really huge. And what's the second lesson? The second lesson is that even a marginally higher rate of return, so your marginally higher rate of return can create a huge difference. Huge difference over a long term. So we saw in this above example, at 12%, your money grew to 28 lakh rupees, 15% interest earned every year grew to 28 lakh rupees. At 15% return, your money grew to 48 lakh rupees. So just a 3% incremental return over a long period of time frame has left you with a lot of money at the end of this period. That is why if you want to invest your money for a long term, say 15 to 20 years, you should try and invest in assets that have the probability of giving the highest long-term returns. One such asset class is equity or stocks. Instead of trading in and trading out of stocks and mutual funds, if you can keep investing with discipline over 15-20 years, you will end up with huge wealth. So the big idea of power of compounding, the big idea of power of compounding is that, one, you should keep investing, even if small sums of money, but keep investing, and for the long term. If you leave this money for the long term, if you leave your savings for the long term to grow, you can really do wonders for your wealth over long term, and that's the real power of compounding. And as you realize, it indeed, as Einstein said, is the eighth wonder of the world. Thank you.